The most powerful Jeep ever has returned. Furman Jeep of Wesley Chapel has given us the 2022 Jeep Unlimited Rubicon 392 in your Sergeant green with the new Recon package, which gives us beefier wheels, adds some bronze exterior and interior elements, and it goes after rivals like your Land Rover Defender, Ford Bronco Raptor. But is this one better than the 4xe that has the same torque? This one's gonna get less gas consumption, but it has more in the 0 to 60 in the quarter mile. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rods, and I'm gonna go over all the specs and details starting now. The new Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon 392 is the performance powerhouse that everybody is looking for in the sense of a 392 V8 that's underneath this thing. It is crazy. You're receiving the unique styling of the Gladiator, freer flowing grille, over 1.5 inches raised hood from the Gladiator Mojave with functioning hood scoops to help that Hemi V8 breathe, a hydro guide air induction system, porting through water at 32.5 inches, a disconnect front anti-roll bar, aero composite LED headlamps, body colored fender flares, encasing these 35-inch all-terrain tires, 11-inch by 8 bronze beadlock capable wheels, trail rail management system, satin black grille by Mopar, integrated off-road camera. The Xtreme Recon is definitely the way to go, and that's the way I would option my 392. Fox aluminum body, 2-inch shocks, heavy duty performance, larger vented rotors, the disc in the front at 13.8 inches. It's solid with a single piston caliper, 2 inches in diameter, true lock electronic locking Dana 44 axle, rear stabilizer bar is stiffer, retuned select track 2-speed transfer case with a 2.72 ratio at low gear, a 3.73 rear axle ratio, off-road plus mode, brake actuated limited slip differential. It's not the widest, but it sets up higher, 2 inches taller than your standard Wrangler, so you have that raw performance with over 10 inches of ground clearance. The 392 can only be optioned in the 4-door because of how much power is underneath this bad boy. 188.4 inches of length with a wheelbase at 118.4 inches. When I compare this to the Ford Bronco Raptor, this is just something more amazing in my book because it has the capabilities to do every single thing. On the downside, it has so much power that when you're doing rock crawling, it is a little bit harder in the sense because it wants to hop over the rocks. And that's one issue you're gonna have with the V8. That's why you can option 4xe, and that would pretty much take care of it. However, the torque is at the same as this, 470 pound-feet. So you would probably want to use it in the electric motor, and still it's gonna have a lot of torque. So going on your trail, you could do that with this. LED tail lamps, and we get the quad exhaust outlets with the tow hook in the bronze. The Xtreme Recon package is definitely a delight, and with this color, I think the combination really does illustrate a little bit of that military look, so it gives some heritage to the Jeep Willy. Payload up to 1,000 pounds. Towing up to 3,500 pounds. So you're not getting any increase of that going inside to your cargo at 27.7 cubic feet. You're gonna have storage that's gonna be underneath the floor. You're gonna receive a 12 volt. The rear bench split folds at a 40-60 split, maxing the cargo to 67.4 cubic feet. Dual mode exhaust sound, which will switch from quiet to performance mode, and the system will activate when carrying heavy loads to run higher RPMs, which will help minimize down pressure and maximize horsepower. This is something that you're going to use daily, and if you want to take it on the trail, you can do it. Let's go inside, start it up so you can hear that raw power. The Jeep Wrangler Unlimited 392 is very unique and unlike any other. You heard from that exhaust note. What is the numbers? It's backing it with a 6.4 liter V8 Hemi producing 470 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, achieving a 0 to 60 at 4.5 seconds with a quarter mile at 13 seconds flat, achieving 13 to 17 mpgs. Now, if you compare this to the 4xe, the 0 to 60 numbers is only about a second difference. The quarter mile is about a second difference. The torque is the same. The horsepower is at 375. So you really have to think which one is going to be more unique for your liking, because you get 49 mpges with that one. Let me know in the comments what you think about the 2022 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon 392 as we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Inside the Jeep 392, 40.8 inches of headroom, 40.8 inches of legroom. It's a leather bucket front seat, 392 Rubicon badging, the bronze stitchwork, 6-way manual adjustment for the driver, 4-way manual adjustment for the passenger. The dash will also get the bronze contrast stitching, and you'll get the gloss in between the rest of it, which are silver wrapping around all of the air vents. 8.4 inch Uconnect with pinch and swipe with the navigation. Click into your app so you can see everything that we have. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, HD radio, smartphone integrated, voice activated, dual climate control. And here you can see your drivetrain. You can check your gauges, your pinch and roll, and that trailer cam yet again. Wi-Fi hotspot working down the lower. You're going to get 2 USB ports, a 12 volt. You have your auxiliaries, your off-roading plus, your sway bar disconnect, and what everybody likes is you have your active exhaust note that you can just push. And if you push the gas hard enough, meaning you hit over 2.5 to 3 RPMs, it's going to activate it anyways because it wants more air to go inside to that engine. Leather wrap steering wheel, it's 3-spoke, soft on the top and bottom, multi-function. You get the bronze stitching with the paddle shifters. The gauge cluster gets a 7-inch TFT color display that can go through an array of information for the driver. It also adds the off-roading page, so you have all the assistance capabilities. You don't have to use every single thing through your infotainment screen, so it's easier when you're doing your trail. You can just look forward and not worry about it. Elbows are going to be relatively firm, but that's what you expect. Open up inside the first tier, a little bit of storage. The second tier, it's more deep with another 12 volt. Door panel, harder materials on the top, but you got a lot of storage on the bottom. Removable doors. Let's see how I look in the back. For the back seats, I have 40.3 inches of headroom, 38.2 inches of legroom. I am going to be sharing some feet space with the occupant next to me in the center. However, if you're fitting 2, you're not going to have any issues. Speakers are right in front of you, storage behind both of the front seats with the grid, air vents in the center. You have plenty of charging ports. Jeep does a great job in the sense of giving you 4 USB total ports in the back, a 12 volt. The seat isn't necessarily as wide as some of the competition. Door panel, hard materials. It's going to be relatively firm where you rest your elbows, and you have a large storage pocket. They're removable. Cup holders, a 16.9 ounce, I'd say a 20 ounce, and you have a little area here that you can fit a phone upward. Sitting into the center, headroom is no issues, nor is leg room. I am sharing a significant amount of feet, butt, shoulder space because, like I illustrated earlier, the seat isn't so wide. The nice thing, when you take the top off, you have this right here in front, so the air is going to come over you and not hit you directly. So sitting in the center, you can actually do so. Taking the 2022 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon 392 out for our test run. 470 over 470, 0 to 60 in crazy speeds. It's anywhere from the low 4 seconds to the entering in the 3 seconds. Now, there is an alternative to this. You can get a 4xe, which I've done a review on that one. Excellent vehicle, and you have 470 pound-feet of torque. You are losing horsepower, only 375 horsepower, but you're gaining mpgs. So just an alternative to keep in mind. The best thing, though, is you don't have to worry about sound dampening because all I can hear is that exhaust. And even though I got these beadlock capable wheels, it's not going to make any difference in the sound, maybe a little bit in the ride. We're going to give her a little go. it's incredible the note that you get out of it. I mean, when people hear it, that's when they realize, oh my God, what just passed me? Because at the beginning, they're looking at it like, oh, it's just a Wrangler. No, this is a 392, and my God, it's such a fun vehicle. Now, the steering obviously is gonna have some play, but that's a Jeep Wrangler for you, considering the fact that they've still engineered this to do everything, and you could take this nearly on the track. That's how quick it is. This is faster than some exotic cars, faster than sports cars, and yet you have the capability to go off-roading. And brakes on the vehicle, not bad at all. I'm gonna check that turn radius at more or less a stop point if we can get to it, and here we go. Getting about 2 lanes and give her a go. She screams, she screams. Now, there is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike. Is anything more than that, I'd be buying this 392. The 3 things that I like about it is you get such a fun wow factor in this vehicle. I mean, you really have to test drive it to understand what I mean. And it's so powerful, it's moving my camera off the screen. The second thing that I like about the vehicle is this. Look, you still have maneuverability capabilities. And this is a Wrangler. It's obviously top heavy, so don't go crazy, but you can actually do maneuvers on the road and off the road, fully engineered to do what you need for a daily and for some fun on the weekend. The last thing that I like about the vehicle is that we get a V8, because they are going to be taking these things away from us sooner than later. That's why they have the 4xe, because they want you to go to a different powertrain so you can get better gas consumption. However, you're still not going to unlock the same wow factor. Both 2 of them are excellent, don't get me wrong, and there is a great wow factor to that particular one. I was really blown away. However, it's still not a Hemi. 3 things that I dislike has to start off on the passenger side. When you put your legs wherever you're resting, there's a little bit of a hump, so it makes it a little bit more uncomfortable for taller people my dimensions. This is a fun thing. You're next to a Jeep and you do this, because nobody's gonna have that type of power underneath here. That's factory. The second thing that I dislike about the vehicle is, with all that fun and pleasure, unfortunately the worst in gas consumption. But look, lovely. It's definitely a delight. Oh man, visibility is great. The dynamics is pretty good. Looking around, you don't necessarily have too many blind spots, because I mean, your 0 to 60s are quick. The last thing that I dislike is we do not receive the new Uconnect 5, and it's still a little bit glitchy whenever you're going into your off-roading page or doing anything through the normal daily driving. This is what you're gonna hear. Looking at the rivals, the only thing that I would really compare this hardcore against is the Land Rover Defender, and I know that the Ford Bronco is comparable too when you're looking at the Raptor. If you go into the Land Rover, you're going to be spending a lot more money, plus the services are more money. So this one, all around, great bang for your buck, something that's not going to be around for a while. If you needed an alternative, I would suggest the 4xe, because that definitely has enough power underneath it, especially for a Wrangler. Otherwise, this is hands down the best Wrangler ever made, and it's nice that we still have it for another year, and with that new Recon package. I'd like to thank Furman Jeep of Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2022 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon 392 for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, click the next video, the subscribe button, check out the details, merchandise, website, and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rides.